Hello there. Welcome to our preview of the tech we might be talking about in 2013. With the iPad now finding new users at home and at work, this is one of the acronyms that you may well be hearing about next year. BYOD, Bring Your Own Device. IT managers are having to grapple with the fact that more and more people from all parts of every company want to use a tablet, and many are prepared to bring their own to work. So what are the security implications? Diligent Board Books is one company that has overcome any fears about data loss to reduce the amount of paperwork carried around by directors and members of the board. And already they have many FTSE 100 companies on their books.
The need is that companies have board meetings to which their directors come, executive or non-executive, and which they have paper packs, or they have packs of information sent to them prior to the board meeting. The problem for both the company and the directors is that these packs can be extremely large, this size if not a lot bigger, so physically distributing them is a challenge. The security around it, getting it to the right person at the right time without someone getting in the way and stealing it or leaving it in the back of the proverbial taxi, is not uncommon. It is an issue. Okay, so when a director logs in, they're presented with a series of the books that they have access to. Let us go into one of them, let's say audit book. It then comes up with the agenda, so it shows the time, the place, the standard things of the agenda. And through the hyperlinks here, you're able to go to the relevant section. You're equally able just to tap on the screen or use the bar at the bottom to move page by page through the document. So you're able to move around and to see the right part that's important to you. You're then able to annotate it in a series of ways. There's a highlighter function. There's a pen function, so you're able just to annotate it and write notes on it. Equally then there's a sticky note if you want to write something a bit more profound. And lastly, a bookmark function so that you can record where you've been and what's important to you. If they don't have the correct password, it remains locked, and in fact after a period of time it self-locks, so no one else can get hold of it either. No one can unlock it. And in that way it's far more secure than this block of paper, which once I've left it in the taxi or the phone box or wherever else, is clearly just openable and readable by anyone. There's no security on it. So it's much more secure in this device than in here.
The one product that Apple is yet to make, although the rumours persist, is a TV. They have an internet-connected tuner in Apple TV, but a TV set for the living room. Might we see one of those in 2013?
I think the ideology, the theory, the possibilities of an Apple TV, and when I say that, not the little set-top box, but actually a television, is something that will continue to be toyed around with for 2013, but I don't necessarily think that 2013 is the year for that to happen. I know that's famous last words, and probably in February they'll be announced. I think what's interesting is if you look back in history for Apple, that the iPhone was rumoured for a good 3 to 4 years before the iPhone actually came out. You know, each press conference it was like, is this going to be the iPhone launch? Is this going to be the iPhone launch? Oh no, it's not. Maybe next year, maybe next year. And I think we've had enough rumour mill and enough chatter that Apple does this. They sort of build the hype, and I think it probably won't be, it'll either be at the very end of 2013, time for the holidays, for Christmas, or it'll be the beginning of 2014, once the momentum has started to build up, once we realise that we really need this thing, and therefore we'll go out and buy it as soon as it's announced.
In the world of gaming, Nintendo stole all the headlines in the last quarter of 2012 with their new console, the Nintendo Wii U, begging the question, when do Microsoft with its Xbox or Sony with its PlayStation release their next versions? A question for Patrick Goss of Tech Radar.
Well, I think 2013 is going to be really interesting. Lots of people are expecting the Xbox 720 and the PS4. They probably won't be called that, by the way. But it's going to be a massive year. And I think, although we might not actually get the products, we might well get the actual announcements of what's to come in the summer. I would say the big things we might see are they're going to be bigger and faster. I'd expect more 3D. Things like Connect and Move will be built in and are much more integral to the whole experience. So I think they're going to have to do something pretty special to convince us that we still want consoles under our televisions rather than something we carry around with us.
No doubt there'll be many more phones coming our way in 2013. But here's one name to conjure with, Oppo. OPPO, better known for its high-end Blu-ray players, now producing out of China a phone that looks gorgeous and claims a stunning display quality. Its 5-inch screen is rated at 1080p with 441 pixels per inch density. Its minimalist design with a very thin bezel, and the advertising claims it becomes a borderless sheet of black when it's powered off. The spec sheet doesn't end there. The Find 5, that's what it's called, has a 13 megapixel camera and can achieve 120 frame per second video recording. All this powered by a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon chip and augmented by what they call Dirac HD, high quality sound in other words. Finally, to two products that are not quite ready to buy from developers who are seeking further funding to bring their vision to market. The Pebble Watch is an accessory for any smartphone that not only tells you the time, but also allows you to control your music and other apps too.
Pebble is a watch that you can customize. It runs a lot of cool and useful apps, and connects wirelessly by Bluetooth to your iPhone or Android smartphone.
And Lockitron have come up with a neat idea, a retrofit accessory for your door that means you can quite literally throw away your keys. Cameron Robertson on a Skype call from the West Coast. Explain more.
We've been working on Lockitron, the idea of Lockitron for a couple of years now. We had a product on the market a year ago, which was a full replacement door lock. Before that, we had sort of been playing around with different internet-connected devices and seeing, if we had an internet connection to something, does it make it more useful? So one of the first things we tried out was a smoke alarm, which would send you a text message when it went off. And we thought that was, a very smart idea until we realized that it was a very expensive smoke detector. And most of the time you forget about your smoke detectors. You don't remember that they're there. So we wanted to make something which was sort of high interaction and people touched it and used it every day. And the door lock was a perfect candidate. So we made our first prototype Lockitron, I guess it's over 2 years ago now. And we put it on our own house and we tested it out and we felt pretty good about ourselves. And we had a number of friends over and they thought it was a great idea. So we decided to go from there and turn to a real product.
Just a few ideas for the tech that might be making the headlines in 2013. Come back soon for more tech stories.